Hello everybody.
Hello.
It's like saying hello to children, isn't it? We're back with another video, which we hope you'll enjoy. Today, we're going to discuss a little bit more around winter van life.
Yes.
For those of you who live in your vans all the year round, you'll know that at times in the winter, particularly in the UK, it can be pretty miserable. It's wet, quite cold, not awfully cold, but just damp basically.
I suppose it's limiting, isn't it, of what you can do outside your van.
Oh God, yes, particularly with a dog. And also, there are fewer campsites to visit, fewer park-ups. So yeah, it's quite tough, and that's I think why a lot of people up sticks and go down to the south, to Spain and the likes in the winter time. Can understand that, but of course with Schengen, you can only go for 3 months and you've got to come back unless you want to go to Morocco or somewhere like that, which we've got no intention of doing.
Well, you say that.
Well, okay, we may have some intention to do, I don't know, but not this year anyway. So this year we're doing some, oh, and I say that, it starts to rain, you see. Typical,
No, it's not.
it is, typical,
Oh.
it is, typical January day. And you might wonder why we're walking, but there's another reason for that, which we'll come on to in a different video. I've lost my thread now, we've gone to that.
Yes, you've
Oh, we were going to go talk about Morocco, but so this video really is about what we're doing differently this winter, to try and make it a little bit easier for ourselves. So if you're interested in that, and what we are doing is we're caretaking a campsite for 2 months, then come along and we'll explain all about it, and what we find really useful about it and some of the limitations.
Well done.
Thank you very much. So as we said, we are caretaking a campsite for 9 weeks, yeah, in the months of January and February. It is very wet, but we thought what we'd do is highlight what you get if you enter an agreement to caretake a campsite. So what are the positives about that? And then what are the downsides? There aren't many downsides, but there are a few commitments as well, aren't there?
Yes.
So what we're going to do is we'll just highlight them to you and see what you think. So you do get your own personal campsite, all to yourself, nobody else here. Bit eerie at night time, bit of wildlife care, isn't there?
We have squirrels, loads of birds, and an awful lot of deer.
Yes, we do have a lot of deer. Yes.
That's why we can't let Isla off the lead all the time, because we don't want her chasing them.
No, but we do have the freedom of the campsite there, don't we? Which is very nice. And yeah, it's all ours, no hassle. Roam where you like, dog off a lead if you like, although obviously with the deer that's a bit of a challenge. And the freedom really that you don't get normally when you're on a campsite. You can say anything?
Oh, you get a free pitch.
Yay!
A compound.
Next to a very quiet road. Beggars can't be choosers. 9 weeks free pitch, free electricity, and
I don't know.
free water.
Ta-da!
How exciting. So yeah, so basically it is, oh, I'm looking at a table, sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. So basically you get a free pitch, which is basically the staff compound, and we're right next to the reception where we do our dishwashing, and our keep fit.
Yes, there's a garage tagged onto reception which
You can use for storage.
You can use for storage.
It's got a freezer and a fridge in it if you need it. So that's all free. And of course, you can see there, Wi-Fi. We get free Wi-Fi as well. So yeah, that's what comes with it. I'll show you what else. You also get the use of a bathroom, so your own private bathroom, nice and warm all the time because the heating's on. It's not special, but it's perfectly adequate. It does what we need. So yeah, that comes well as part of the package. And you also get the use of washing machine and tumble dryer, which is in this little shed-like arrangement attached to the bathroom.
I was going to say you can also get, if you're lucky, a kitchen arrangement.
We haven't got one, have we?
No.
But
we just cook in the van.
But you still can't complain, can you?
No.
We've got all this for free as part of caretaking the site. There's nothing else that we get for free, is there? I think that's it, isn't it?
Can't think of anything else.
No, so now what we're going to show you is some of the things you have to give back in return for the facilities you get. Not forgetting that huge pound sign.
Well, it's lighting up your face, isn't it, mate?
So for all this, and admittedly it helps us and it's convenient for us and enables us to stay in one place for 2 months during the winter time. You get paid the grand sum total of, can you remember?
9 hours a week each minimum wage.
So that's 18 hours a week we get paid for being here. Which it's really, for us it's incidental, but it might be interesting for you. The other thing, of course, you have to remember is you have to be an employee on these sites of the Caravan and Motorhome Club. I don't know what it's like for private sites. You probably just can apply. I don't know, but that's what you get for being caretakers. But some of the but some of the requirements whilst you're on site, they're not onerous, are they? But you do have to do things. Kerry's now going to demonstrate how you check.
Wow, this is exciting.
The level of a Calagas container, cylinder, bullet, whatever you want to call it. Here you go, Kerry. Show them what you do every week. Oh yes, what do you check?
You look at the little gauge and go, oh, it's so and so percentage. And you lower the flap.
So we check that every week, and if it gets to a certain level we have to order some more, don't we?
Yes, dear.
One of our little jobs. I'll show you a few more as we go along. So one of the requirements of you being here is you ensure the security of the site. So the site during the winter obviously is closed, and so as part of that there are a set of gates which are here, and we ensure that they're secure. They're chained and bolted. So part of the responsibility for us is storage here.
Yes.
So we have to obviously be around when people want to access storage for maintenance, to return a unit or take a unit out. So there's a booking in arrangement, and they leave a message on the answer phone, have to give us at least 24 hours notice, and then we have to be here obviously to see them in and out. So that is a little bit onerous, isn't it, because we don't get the freedom to go away, but if there's nobody coming in for the day we can obviously go out shopping and stuff like that. So you are tied to the site, and that's something you'd have to think about if you were thinking about doing it. Is it's not free reign to just go off every day and do what you like. So there's that element, which is storage, and we'll show you the storage pictures in a minute, but there are other elements as well that we're going to show you. So one of the less glamorous elements of the role is, particularly on this site, because it's not on mains drainage, we have to ensure that we check the cesspits on a reasonably regular basis and we get them emptied. So the pit, or one of the pits, is there, There is a particular issue with this site in that the pit fills up with rainwater, so we have to get it done fairly regularly. So it's not all glamour, let's put it that way. So just continuing with some of the tasks we have to do whilst we're here, and I'm talking quite quietly because there are deer close by, which I'm hopefully going to capture on film now, is we had the tree surgeons in, because this is a very wooded site, and there's a need for them to do annually a tree survey and take out the trees that are potentially unsafe. So we have to facilitate them coming and going, and there's a big report that we have to identify the trees that need to be taken out. Part of that, or result of that, is chippings, which you can see there are a huge number here, and hopefully you can see the deer who are really attracted to this on the basis that it's fairly fresh, and I guess they eat the bark. So yeah, you can take your eyes off the deer. They're seeker deer, by the way. Some of you probably know the site, but we've also, as part of the process, is we check the site daily, and we do a little bit of work around the site. So we've spread most of this bark onto the road, or the path which goes to the road on the way to the railway, and then we've got that huge pile there to do something with. We're not quite sure yet what, and make sure it doesn't spontaneously combust, but because the deer love eating it and move it around quite a lot, it probably won't, but I thought it'd be nice to capture the deer. They're lovely, but there are so many of them here. So yeah, there is a fair amount of site maintenance to do. It's not onerous, as I said already, but we do like to keep busy, so we wander around and do quite a bit because we can. That is somewhat reduced by the fact that it's been so wet this winter. But I thought I'd give you a flavour of the tasks we do around the site with regards maintenance. Finally, I wanted to just explain the other real, it's not a major job, but the other significant issue we just need to be aware of here, and what we do on a weekly basis, is we run all the taps and the outlets for 2 minutes each. It's primarily a Legionella thing that we carry on through the winter period, so it's a maintenance program that we do. We also come round to each of the toilet blocks, because on this site there are 2 toilet blocks and 2 shower blocks. It's a bit unusual because of the composting toilets they have here, but we come round and I do a check on probably a very regular basis, 2 or 3 days, make sure the boilers are all operating correctly, there are no leaks. We have had some issues earlier in the winter when it was very cold with burst water pipes, just checking those. So really quite straightforward general maintenance thing. So it doesn't take long, but what you have to realise is if you're going to do this kind of operation, like 9 weeks as we're doing, it isn't all about you being able to go off and travelling. You are restricted to the site, and you do have to do some work. You also have to respond to emails, organise purchase orders, and the like, just to ensure that everything runs smoothly. I may be overplaying it a bit. That sounds like there's loads of work. There isn't a lot of work, but you certainly do more than 9 hours a week. But we're quite happy with that. We were aware of that before we started, and the benefits to it are that we've got a site that we can stay on for 9 weeks free of charge. In fact, we get a little bit of money for it. So generally, I would say that for us, it's suited us. It's been good for us. Obviously, the drawbacks are, unless you're employed by the club, you can't do it. And I think from our perspective, once we've finished here, we don't want to do it anymore. But it's been very useful for us for this winter to see out 9 weeks in one place, free of charge. But we are at the beginning of February, first week in February, and we're itching to get off already. So we've got another 3.5 weeks to go, and then we'll be travelling again. So I'm hoping, and we're both hoping, that you found that useful. It explains why and how campsites operate in the wintertime when they're closed. It also illustrates that you can live rather frugally during the wintertime in the UK, and escape some of the humdrum, because at least you do have some facility when you're doing this kind of work. But there is a trade-off. You are committed yourself to 9 weeks on a campsite, and you do have to respond to a lot of things. So it's not like you can just go off and travel and enjoy the area. You can't really do that. Okay, if you've enjoyed that, you'd like to see more, then like and subscribe, and we're always welcome to comments, which we'll respond to as best as we can. Okay, we'll see you in the next one.